What's going on, everybody? We finna get ready to get the show started. Thank y'all for sticking with me. Had to kind of come on a little late, trying to finish up some things and get prepared, and had to make sure everything was ready and set to go. Y'all definitely make sure y'all share this show out. I'm gonna be sharing that out right now as well, and so that way everybody knows where to go. And we're gonna get ready to get this show started. We're gonna be talking offensive line. And then we're also going to talk about Big Jeff's big day, since he officially signed his contract with the Tennessee Titans, his extension, which I am definitely glad to have him sticking around for the next 5 years. And so I am definitely very satisfied with that. And we're definitely going to talk about it because he had a press conference today. And I have a clip for you, a little bit of the press conference. So we're going to get ready to get started in just a bit. So y'all go ahead and share the show out. I'm about to do the same thing. And we're going to get this thing started in less than 60 seconds. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody? Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome into a new edition of TNT Tonight. I'm your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we're gonna have a very fun episode for you on this evening. Definitely make sure y'all share this show out. Definitely share it out on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. I am actually doing the exact same thing right now. So I am sharing this show out to everybody as we speak also, so that we go ahead and get this show on the road. So definitely do that for me. Also, make sure y'all follow all the channels and everything as you see on the bottom of the screen on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Facebook, the TNT Enforcers page, on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer, and on Instagram at Titans_in_truth. Also, of course, super chats are definitely appreciated as well. And also you can Cash App me as well, $ Blue Enforcer if you want to support the show. I'm definitely trying to work on some new things. We are, of course, around 2 weeks out from the NFL draft. A big NFL draft show will definitely happen. So I will definitely be doing that as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. Glad everybody is here with me. Also, again, make sure y'all make sure y'all download the TNT the Titans of Truth podcast on wherever you get your podcast from, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, or Google Podcast, because those episodes will be out there. If you missed any part of the show, you can go back and listen to the show. I usually have them up the very next day. So I definitely try to make sure I get them up as quick as I possibly can. So that way that they're up for everybody. So those will be up definitely following the show. If by the latest, it'll definitely be up tomorrow. Go ahead, anybody, as you come into the show, make sure you smash that like button and definitely help the show. And then while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and go ahead and ring that bell so that way we can ring that bell, because it'll help me and it'll also help out you guys as well, as it helps me keep content going on this particular channel. I am right now at about 1,300 subscribers. Definitely want more. So, definitely pass the word out. If you're new to the show, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I definitely want to hit 1,400 by draft night. So definitely help me out with that. Let's get to 1,400 by draft night, and let's get this thing going. And then on draft night, I will challenge each and every one of you to bring in at least one new subscriber to the channel that is not already subscribed. So I put that challenge out to all of y'all. Help me help you with that. So if you could, that would be really, really kind. As y'all can see, I am sharing the show out right now all over Facebook as we speak, and we're going to get ready to get into this show because some big news happened today. Let's see. Titan Fox says good press conference with Big Jeff. I did hear some of that press conference. Jameson says, hey, all tighten up. AZ Mick, as usual. Tremaine Rogers, what's up with you, sir? I know some people are coming on in, and I know more of you will file in as time goes on. Of course, we are live from right here in the Truth Studios, aka the Man Cave. We're definitely having a good time here, but let's get right into it. As we've already paid some bills, Big Jeff officially signed his 4-year contract extension today. Of course, worth $94 million, $66 million guaranteed. He got $24 million. He got a $24 million signing bonus, so he got that right off the top, and he's going to be averaging around $23.5 million a year, which is the second highest paid defensive lineman, defensive tackle in football right now. So he is, second to Aaron Donald. Now we know Quinnen Williams is going to get paid at some point as well, so that might change some things a bit. But for right now, we're celebrating a good thing with him getting this new deal, because it's well deserved and it looks like it's a good deal for both sides. I am definitely satisfied that they got this deal done. I was definitely happy for Big Jeff, because again, he definitely deserved it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a very small clip from that press conference. I was able to get it from my guy TD from ESPN. Was able to get a small clip of the press conference, and so I am going to play that for you in just a moment. So hang tight, and we are going to play a little bit of the Big Jeff press conference in just a second.
I think, man, just from house to house, apartment to apartment, sharing a bed with my brother. Man, we good. It's just not, my kids, this generation wealth, as we call it, like, that's what I do it for, man. Every day I wake up, just think about them hard times where I know my mom didn't feel like it. And for some time, I could be like, I'm hurt. But I think about my mom having to raise 5 kids on her own. And for me to say, I don't want to do this, that's my motivation, my family. So, sorry about that. But man, this is, I'm grateful. I'm excited. I never saw myself wearing anything but the two-tone blue other than, holding up a Super Bowl ring and a gold jacket. So.
And that is Big Jeff. Big Jeffrey Simmons, of course, he officially signed his contract earlier today before the press conference. And you just feel that passion, that love that he had. And, he talked about, how much, his family meant to him and things that they went through. And, he also said, that Rand was in talks with him and that Rand made him a top priority, that he was the top priority of the Titans was to make sure that he was re-signed. And he also went on to say, hey, Rand was a man of his word, and he said that we were going to get this done, and we have. And he also said that once everything was agreed upon, one of the first people he texted was Miss Amy Adams Strunk. And he basically said, just reiterated thanking her for taking a chance on him, thanking her for believing in him and things like that. And I'm proud as a Titans fan. It got emotional. He shed some tears and stuff like that. And you know what? That's okay. There'll probably be some that say, oh man, Big Jeff crying and stuff. I'm like, hey, sometimes we cry tears of joy. This is a happy moment. And if you cry tears of joy because you're happy, you're glad you're able to provide for your family, you're able to stay where you want it to be. I mean, there's nothing else to be said. Big Jeff didn't need to apologize to nobody for shedding some tears. That is perfectly fine. Sometimes it's great to show emotion. It means you care. It means you give a damn. And you could definitely tell he does. And, it just seemed like he said, I ain't see myself playing anywhere else but two-tone blue. That tells you he was committed. And now that he's locked in for the long term, another 4 years after this year, I can officially go get me a Big Jeff jersey now. I can officially get me a Jeffrey Simmons jersey, and I ain't got to worry about, him going anywhere. Hopefully I can get him to sign it. Hopefully I may be able to get him to sign it. And that's something I'm going to try to do. I tried to see if I can get Delaney Walker to sign mine. I may try to reach back out to him and see if I can do it again. See if I can get him, if I can send my jersey to him and get autographed. I think I might do that for Big Jeff as well. See if I can get to him. And maybe even Kevin Byard. Of course, there, with some rumors out about him. But we'll definitely get into that. But what did y'all think of the press conference? And for some of y'all that may have missed a few days ago where I did go live after the news of Big Jeff signing, what did you think of that? So James said, love the press conference. Lou Man checking in. What's up with you? Let's see. Titan Fox says, I like that he explained the removal of the Titans related things from his social media. It wasn't backtracking. It made actual sense. And a lot of people do that because, maybe they don't want what's going on behind closed doors to get out. Because, people in the media, people in social media are nosy, are very nosy. It's like they're trying to get anything to get a story. So definitely got to go back and listen to that part, but I'm glad he definitely explained that. Good sign, Big Jeff going to dominate. And the man played hurt. The man played hurt on a bum ankle. He kept just being like, whatever I got to do to get back out there and play for my team, let me do that. And they didn't hold it against him. They didn't hold injury against him. He played through it like a soldier. And Jameson said, Big Jeff has definitely fulfilled his promise he made to Miss Amy on the first day. And he has. Miss Mims says, I'm so happy about Simmons staying with the Titan. I didn't have any doubt in my mind he was going anywhere. I knew he was going to get re-signed. I had faith on that. I honestly didn't have any, definite guarantee, but I had a good, strong fit. I was thinking, Big Jeff's not going to go anywhere. He's too valuable. And plus, they're not going to make the same mistake twice that they made last year with AJ. Because there were rumors out saying, well, what about the Titans trading up to the 3 pick, maybe trading Big Jeff as a part of that. Now, all of that can go to bed. We ain't got to worry about that anymore. So Big Jeff gets the big deal. Definitely glad of that. And now we can keep going. So definitely we'll keep reading your comments as we keep going. Also, what was going on in the last few days, we had some pre-draft visits that were happening. And, there were a lot of players that have been visiting the team and everything lately. And so this past week, of course, we've had Quentin Johnston was in for a visit. This week. Will Levis was in yesterday. The quarterback from Kentucky, Cam Smith, the corner from South Carolina, and the edge rusher, Keon White from Georgia Tech, was here today. So, just to name a few, I was trying to see anything else. I know Darnell Wright visited the Titans. I think he could be a local visit because he's at Tennessee. But these are some guys that had private visits that we know of. Julius Brent, Juju Brents from Kansas State. I know he was a visit. Tank Dell definitely got a visit. He is coming in for a visit. Javon Dexter, defensive tackle from Florida. Mohamed Diabate from Utah, inside linebacker. Jalen Duncan has met with the Titans privately. Hendon Hooker also was here. He's local. And also Darnell Wright would be local as well. Broderick Jones has been here for a visit also. And then, of course, with the quarterbacks, Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson's coming next week. Let's see. I believe Osiris Torrance has been here as well. So that's just to name a few of the people that have been here privately. So the top 30 visits are definitely ramping up, and definitely more will definitely be coming as time goes on, as far as who also will be coming in. So we know for a fact that next week, Anthony Richardson is going to be in town in Nashville. Also, so definitely going to be paying attention to some of that. And, you know, a lot of times with these visits, you wonder what is the deal with that. A lot of times with these visits, that means they're either very extremely interested in the player or they're really trying to find out some more about them. And so people like O'Cyrus Torrence, I think they're very interested in him. Darnell Wright, very interested. Hendon Hooker, probably interested. Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, probably trying to find out a little bit more. Cam Smith, Keon White, probably trying to find out a little bit more. But, you know, there are some that they're definitely very interested in. Now, we haven't seen, of course, Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison or Jackson Smith and Jigba. Haven't really seen anything about Stroyansky. I believe Paris Johnson has been here as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that's just a few on that. So Big Jeff's going to dominate and make that contract look like a bargain. I honestly think so, and I think they did get a bargain out of that deal. Now, Miss Mims is coming in saying, when are they going to fix the O-line? Well, Miss Mims, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. They have been working on the O-line. I mean, they signed Andre Dillard, the tackle from the Eagles, who, you know, was beat out, but he was brought here, you know, is given an opportunity to be able to start, to see if he can be that left tackle for years to come, or if they draft a guy like a Stroyansky or a Paris Johnson or a Darnell Wright, maybe he moves inside to guard. You know, that could be something there. But, I mean, they go and get a left tackle in Andre Dillard. They went got Daniel Brunskill from the San Francisco 49ers. He's probably going to be going at right guard. He's going to be going at right guard. And then, of course, they bring back Corey Levin and Aaron Brewer. They're probably going to battle it out for the center position, most likely, unless they go and draft like a John Michael Schmidt or a Joe Tippmann from Wisconsin. You know, if they go get one of those guys, then yeah, I think they might battle for guard. But I think they're definitely going to look at, you know, maybe a interior offensive lineman at some point in the draft. Maybe somebody like an O'Cyrus Torrence, maybe a guy like Steve Avila from TCU or something like that. So definitely they have been working on the O-line. They've signed a couple of guys, brought back some veterans. I would like to see Corey Levin maybe get that center spot. Aaron Brewer might be better at center. We're definitely going to find out, but they have been working on that, and they are going to continue to work on that. So Keon comes in and says free agency is not over and the draft is 2 weeks away. The line and wide receivers. I definitely do agree with that. I think they're definitely going to draft receiver. And I think they need to draft 2, honestly. Unless they're going to go trade for DeAndre Hopkins, which I could see trades happening maybe later in the draft, maybe for like 3rd round picks or lower. I don't think the Titans are going to give up high draft capital for trades. Maybe they're trading down. I can see them trading down, maybe still get a Stroyansky or Darnell Wright. We're going to talk about offensive linemen in just a minute. But, I mean, there's a lot of ways the Titans can go in this draft. We're going to talk about receivers next week. I'm definitely going to try to see if I can get a very special guest on for that to talk receivers. I'm definitely going to try to do that. You know, and everything. So we're definitely going to get into that. But yeah, free agency's not over. The draft is vastly approaching we're within about 2 weeks from tomorrow from the NFL draft kicking off. So I am extremely excited about that. Probably going to lose a lot of sleep that week, but I really don't care. I'm just gonna do what I can and represent. And we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good draft show. Probably gonna have a few guests on with us during the draft. So we're definitely gonna have that happen. But some news that has been coming out. I've watched some other podcasts. This notion about Kevin Byard possibly being traded. I don't think that's going to happen. That's not going to happen. I don't see. I do not see. I don't see Kevin Byard getting traded. He's one of the best safeties in the NFL. The Titans love him. The people love him. Kevin Byard ain't going nowhere, y'all. So I think y'all can put that to rest. So Time 5 says, don't say you don't care. You'll lose sleep because you care so much. Yes, I care, but at the same time, if I lose a little sleep because I have to work the next day, that's fine. I will deal with that. I'm like, look, I am perfectly fine. I am perfectly fine losing some sleep due to the NFL draft. I am perfectly fine losing sleep. A name says, what did I miss? Well, you have to go back and listen earlier. It'll be, of course, up. We talked about Big Jeff's press conference earlier, played a little clip of it, and talked about some of the pre-draft visits and everything that has happened so far. But speaking of the draft, the first position of, for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about the major positions of need, my top 3 positions of need that I think the Titans need to address. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They're all on the offensive side of the ball. So this week, we're going to focus on the offensive line. That's going to be my first preview this week. Of course, next week, we're going to get into the wide receivers and probably get in a little bit on the tight ends. I'm going to try to see if I can watch some film of tight ends as well, but I'm definitely going to try my best to watch as much film on wide receivers as I can. The offensive line, because that is a big position of need. We may have our left tackle or left guard of the future in Andre Dillard, but that still doesn't mean we can't look at a guard or tackle going forward in this draft. And we may need to look at center as well. There are still 2 positions. There are still probably 2 positions that need to be filled, maybe 3, depending on how they feel about NPF, about Nicholas Petit-Frere. But right now, I would say Nicholas Petit-Frere starts on the right side. Dillard starts on the left side. Brunskill will probably be at right guard, but you still need a center and a left guard when it comes to that. So, we're going to start off. I'm going to start off with some dark horses. As far as I'm concerned, some guys that I have my top 5 offensive tackles, and then I have my top 2 interior offensive linemen that I would be very interested in going early. A couple of dark horses I can see going later at tackle. First off, I go with Jalen Duncan from Maryland. I definitely liked a little bit of what I saw from him at the Senior Bowl. So I was actually pretty impressed, as well as Matt Bergeron from Syracuse. Tyler Steen, who could be a guard tackle out of Alabama. And the biggest anomaly at tackle for me is DeJuan Jones. DeJuan Jones is a huge anomaly when it comes to playing because he's only played a year, and I just don't know if he's going to translate to the NFL. I really don't know. And that's, something that kind of concerns me. Let's see, James said no to Kevin Byard. National sports media is starting these narratives for buzz. And I think that's what was going on with Will Levis. I just think there was just some fake buzz going on when it comes to Will Levis. I don't believe the hype. The rumor mill is hilarious. I definitely agree. They definitely got to get content. So, that's definitely some dark horse tackles. Dark horse in the inside, and there is a player. I think there's like two players I forgot to mention here. I mentioned Cody Mauch. This dude is a personality. I will definitely say that. Long flowing hair from North Dakota State, could probably play every position along the line. Although I know a lot of people probably think of Dylan Radunz when it comes to him. And we can't forget about Dylan Radunz maybe going in at left guard. I think he has an opportunity. Joe Tippmann, the center out of Wisconsin. Another guy that I forgot to mention, Steve Avila from TCU, is another. Emil Ekiyor Jr. Is a dark horse. He could play guard or center out of Alabama. And Olusegun Oluwatimi from Michigan, also a center. I believe he was I want to say he was the nation's best center, if I'm not mistaken. I'm about to confirm that. Let's see. Olusegun Oluwatimi was the Remington Trophy winner, and that is for being the nation's best center. And he's not even looked at as being a day 1 or day 2 pick. He might be looking at being a day 3 pick with that. So those are just a few dark horses that I do like, but they're not in my top 5 of offensive tackle. And these dark horse interior are not in my top 2 for interior offensive line. So we're definitely going to get to that in just a quick second. So I'm gonna get some of your comments before we go into our top 5, into my top 5. Let's see. James says, so true about DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State. Definitely an enigma. Mr. Jones says Darnell Wright is a top O lineman. We'll see if he makes the list. Tippmann, a dark horse. Dude is a stud. Not sure he even makes it to 72. That could be true. Avila looks good for a 3rd or 5th round if he's still there. He may not make it that far either. So that's something that we're going to see. Definitely something that we're going to see. Like I said, some guys that I think they're not in the top 5 or top 2, but there's some guys that I can see going later in the draft, possibly for the Titans. But starting off, I'm going to go 1 to 5 on my offensive tackles. But I'm going to go ahead and start interior. My number 1 interior offensive lineman is a guard by the name of Osiris Torrance out of Florida. 6'5", 347. From some of the things I saw and some of the reviews I've seen, extremely violent and aggressive at the point of attack. He is a baller in the run game, a very good anchor, has a lot of strength and good size. Definitely can play well in the pass game as well, but he could have a little bit of problem against some of the more elite defensive tackles, but I don't think it'll be too bad for him. He does get a little stiff, maybe a little tight going towards the second level, and his footwork could be a little bit better. But I really liked what I saw out of O'Cyrus Torrence at the Senior Bowl, and I did get to watch a little bit of him, I believe, against Georgia, and he definitely held up well against like Jalen Carter and some of those great defensive linemen at Georgia. So I definitely like O'Cyrus Torrence. He's a guy that could go late in the first round, definitely mid part of the second round. So I think he could be a guy that the Titans look at 41. My second interior offensive lineman is John Michael Schmitz, and he's the center out of Minnesota. That weight is incorrect. I apologize for that. I will definitely fix that very quickly. But John Michael Schmitz is definitely somebody that I think could be look, he's definitely added some weight to him. And he is basically about 6'3". He's about 6'3", 301, close to, right at the 300-pound mark. So he is definitely a guy, could use a little bit more weight on him. Give me just a second. I'm finna fix something really, really fast. Okay. Yep, I had to fix that because, hey, live show mistakes are made. And you know what? I, definitely try to fix my mistakes and, definitely try to make it better. So that's exactly what I try to do. And that's what we're going to do. So fixing my small mistake. And I am back in the game right now, talking about John Michael Schmitz. Here we go. Now, there it is, much better. 6'3", 301 out of Minnesota. Definitely fits the zone blocking scheme. Definitely has experience, started, I believe, 36 games at center for Minnesota. So he started for over 2 years, maybe even 3 years. Definitely gets to the second level with aggressiveness, can be very physical, and he's also very, very smart. Like, you're not going to beat him with technique or anything like that. A very smart football player, definitely can be the leader of your offensive line. Now, his anchor is a little light, not the greatest anchor in the world, still pretty solid. He is going to need help on the inside against elite interior defensive tackles. Now, if he's drafted as a Titan, that could help him because he's going to go up against an elite defensive tackle every day in Big Jeffrey Simmons. So that's going to help him in the long run. Of course, the lady of Titans in Truth, Miss Sunshine, who went to work out without me, but I understand. I'm kidding. So he could definitely struggle with that, but I think he'll add on a little bit more weight. And I think he'll also, I don't think that'll be held against him. I think he could still hold his own. So I definitely think, and I'm like Jameson, there are a lot of good prospects at offensive line with that. So, yeah, A-Name, I had to get that right. O'Cyrus Torrence was right. John Michael Schmitz, I had it wrong, so I had to fix that with that. So definitely I do like both of these guys, John Michael Schmitz and O'Cyrus Torrence. But now looking at the top 5 of my offensive line, And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to change it. I said I was going to go from 1 to 5, but I think I'm going to go from 5 to 1. Number 5, offensive tackle, is Broderick Jones. And I'm going to say this, and I know, again, I'm not supposed to blacklist any school. You know, you don't blacklist a school. I get it. However, I still have Isaiah Wilson syndrome. I still have Isaiah Wilson PTSD. I do. And that PTSD is not going away. You know, Isaiah Wilson, what happened there really hurts. So I am not a big fan of Georgia offensive linemen. I'm not. I don't see the fit. I don't. But there are some traits. First off, you know, he's athletic. He's a very good run blocker. He's a road grader. He definitely looks to engage. He looks to engage. He looks to, he's always looking to block somebody. He's always looking, he can, you know, he may lose some leverage in the pass blocking, but he has enough athleticism and speed to recover. And so I definitely do like that. However, he is very inexperienced. He's only started 19 games in his college career. Last year was his first full year as a starter. His technique definitely needs work. He sometimes comes out of his stance a bit high, and his hand placement is not very good. So I don't know if he fits schematically with what the Titans tried to do. And I know, again, I should not blacklist a school, but Georgia offensive linemen scare me to death. That is why I have him at number 5. At number 4, I have Anton Harrison, the tackle out of Oklahoma, 6'4", 315. He is an excellent pass blocker. Probably the second best pass blocker in this class, besides Paris Johnson. Has great arm length and strength. He's athletic, definitely has some good feet. However, he does struggle in the run game. He could be a little bit better in the run game, and he could also do a lot better of a job of keeping his defender engaged. So that way, the defender can't get off the block and go make a play. But he still does a decent job in the run game. And so when I look at Anton Harrison, and I looked at him against TCU and Kansas State, is that, and I'm going to say this a few times, I would rather have a good pass blocking offensive lineman who needs a little bit of a tweak to help better his run game blocking than to have a good run blocker who has to learn how to pass block. Teaching how to pass block, to me, is a lot more difficult than teaching somebody how to run block. So that's why I think I value Anton Harrison, because he is an excellent pass blocker. Although there was one play against Kansas State where he gave up outside leverage and it led to a sack. James has said he still has Isaiah Wilson PTSD as well. That one hurts fans to this day, and it hurts me. So I definitely like Anton Harrison. And I think a lot of y'all are going to like my number 3, Darnell Wright from Tennessee, 6'6", 335. I really do like Darnell Wright because I could tell he has some dog in him. He's got some meanness to him. Because I think he was on Twitter, he responded to somebody. I think somebody was like, well, we can't draft him. He can only play right tackle. And he was like, and I think it was like along the lines of, nobody's relegated me to just one position. I can play right tackle or left. Like, what do you know? Like, he got heated. So he's got a little bit of a mean streak to him, and I kind of like that. So some pros with him. He has a very powerful first punch. He gets his hands on you, it is very powerful. He is a very good pass blocker. He adjusts well to a pass rusher's moves. So, if he sees a move, he can pick up on that. And as the game goes later, if he, maybe loses a rep because of that, he won't lose that rep again. He played against big-time competition. Will Anderson, the edge rusher from Alabama, said Darnell Wright was the toughest lineman he has ever had to face. He held his own against him. He held his own against Jalen Carter. He held his own against some of the some of the Florida defensive linemen. So Darnell Wright holds up well in the pass game. He's versatile. He can play left or right tackle and has some good feet. But like Anton Harrison, he also does need help in the run game. Not saying that he can't do it, but sometimes he'll get out in space and he'll block air. Or he tries so hard that he wants to put that knockout block in that he completely whiffs. So he does have to have better hand placement in the run game. Now, he played what is called a gap scheme at Tennessee. Didn't have to play a lot of zone. So the wonder is, can it transfer to a zone blocking scheme in the NFL? I think he definitely has potential to do that. So I am okay. I am definitely up on Darnell Wright. I like him. At number 2 is Peter Stroyansky, 6'4", 315 from Northwestern. There's quite a few questions about him. Will he play tackle? Will he be a guard? He's the one that a lot of people see moving inside to guard. But there's a lot about Stroyansky that you can like with him playing tackle. I mean, he is very well refined in technique. He has some power in the running game. He has a decent anchor and good footwork. Now, if he gets his hand on the defender first, he does well. But he might be better off inside at guard. But in an interview at the Combine, he said, hey, nobody's come to me and said you have to play guard or you can't play tackle. He basically said, I'll play wherever I'm needed to play. If it's at guard, I'll play guard. If it's at tackle, I'll play tackle. That was from Peter Stroyansky at the Combine. Now, some of the cons, the arm length is definitely a question. I mean, he had sub 32-inch arms. And that is what a lot of experts are afraid of when it comes to him, is the short arm length. Sometimes if he doesn't get in. If the defender gets his hands on him first, that defender is in control, and he tends to lose leverage. Stoyanski is a good run blocker, but he's not a baller to me. And I think he tends to struggle against more powerful pass rushers. I saw that in the game against Penn State. The guy, the guy was coming off the edge, slipped and fell on the ground, but this guy never quit. He got back up, re-engaged, beat Stoyanski, and nearly got a sack. That was all heart by that guy at Penn State. So Stoyanski could struggle against more powerful rushers, but again, a very solid player. And at number 1, Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State, 6'6", 310. By far the very best tackle in this draft class. Might not even be there at 11. Has a very good anchor, uses his hands well. He is, to me, the most complete offensive lineman in this draft. He is good in the run game, but he's better as a pass blocker. He can get to the second level very well, has some good hand placement also. Even if a powerful or edge rush or speedier rusher comes off, he still holds his own. Watched him in the game against Iowa. He held his own against Luke Van Ness, who's also going in the first round at some point. So definitely was impressed with Paris Johnson. But he does struggle against some of the speed rushers, and he struggles against pass rushers who have very good technique. And he has issues if a defensive lineman, starts outside and then comes back inside. That's where Paris Johnson can lose some leverage. So, definitely has to be careful with that, and definitely has to do better if a lineman works his way inside. Don't give up inside leverage trying to put all your weight towards the outside. So, but I think Paris Johnson is the most complete offensive lineman in this draft. So what do you guys think of my top 5 offensive linemen and my top 2 interior linemen with that? James says, I'm very interested seeing him mock to Titans in a lot of drafts. Mr. Jones says, Ohio State didn't go up against SEC defenses week after week. True, but them Big Ten defenses, Michigan, pretty good. Penn State, not bad. Notre Dame was good for a while. Let's see. Jameson, of course, is in Minnesota. A very fine blocker. Saw him a lot. Do you good against the Cornhuskers? I did watch some of that game against the Cornhuskers when they were in Ireland, and I thought he did a very fine job. So those are my top 5 offensive line prospects that I think the Titans could definitely look at. And so, again, let me know what y'all think. I will be talking wide receivers next week going into the draft. And so, I don't really think there's much more to go on. I know we got 2 weeks to the draft. Again, definitely working on a draft party where I will be tuning into the draft and giving my thoughts on picks as we go. Definitely going to do that. And so definitely make sure y'all stay in tune for that. Definitely make sure y'all keep up with that. I will definitely put out more information as time goes on, as we get closer to the NFL draft. Again, please help me get to 15. Help me get to 1,400. Want to definitely get to 1,400 by the draft. And I definitely do thank everybody for tuning into the show. And definitely gonna have wide receivers next week. And I will definitely try to get a big guest on. I'm working on that, so definitely stay tuned. I definitely do appreciate everybody tuning into the show. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Super chats are also appreciated. But until then, thank y'all for tuning into the show. I'm your man, Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. And I will see y'all next time. Tighten up, because that's all we know how to do.